Hello, Minglawa. So, yeah, this image is in early 20th century. The like street dancer. They don't use the stage, and so they perform on the streets and then travel around Myanmar. They perform in the Pagoda Festival or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, when you talk about the performer art, so you should have to be called about 60, 70. So what happened, and also like, so look to my country, what happened in 60. So yeah, in the 62 to 1988, 26 years, so the military junta took the power. So at the time, the country was totally closed country. And then, so during that period, under the socialism government, so only two art books introduced the modernism to the Myanmar art scene. So the one is called the Traditional to Modern Art by Baji Also. So Baji Also is the person who attended Shantineghan University in India, founded by Rabindranath Tagore. After he studied from Shantineghan, and then he published a book about how we can combine with the traditional art and modern art form. And then the second book is called the Astral Art by the King Wan. So that guy also at that time, he was young, around 20. And so he's an intellectual guy. He's like half black. So his father is a Japanese during the Second World War in Myanmar. And then so he translated to about the astral art form. So that's why in Myanmar, artists during the 62 to 88, so they didn't have a chance to look at the outside world, so they only enjoying with the practice with the modernism. And so after that, so in 88, uprising, so the key event happened on 8 August 98. And then later, the socialist government was collapsed, and then country changed the name Burma to Myanmar. And then at the time, their artists can get chance to see outside, and we are trying to introduce the unknown art forms, the installation, performance, and also start to debate about the postmodernism like Derrida and Foucault, and yeah. So during the 19th, so like in first generation of contemporary artists and first generation of performer artists emerged, and then when we say in that first generation, the important space is called the Inya Art Gallery. It is set up by the small group of the leading modern art artists, and yeah, so they have like every Friday gathering and talking about the performance arts, and so what is performance art? So is it different between theater, or is it look like the acting, or so they are debate about the performance art. So okay, I'm showing the video clip around 3 minutes by first generation of performance artist. His name is called Taineng. He did his performance in 1997 at the Lokana Art Gallery. Yeah, so in the first generation, I feel that they are like they try to express about their idea about like the we have a censorship, so that's why they feel that so the government control everything, so that's why they are tied in themselves, and yeah, so they try to escape from something. Yeah, so I feel that it's very good high. And yeah, so another the one of the pioneer artists, the Aomi, he's a founder of the Inya Art Gallery. So this is one of his piece, just uh, really short time piece. Yeah, so he said, okay, I will do performance. So in June the Friday gathering, and then so he take out his shirt and put his shirt on the chair and his the bed and showing like, so this is my set portrait, and then so all of his colleagues are big shock. What is that? What does it mean? Is it art or yeah? It's not. Yeah. So and this is the another pioneer of the performer artist called the Popo. So he make the holy mark of the Buddha forehead, and then he banned, and then he escaped from that like the circuit. So his writing is that I intend to pay homage to the Buddha by using the symbol of the wisdom holy mark on the Buddha forehead. As the performance, I try to present about the Buddhists who worship the Lord with his bending body. So that one happened in one of the public park event. So another the artist, his name is Nying Jiansu, and he tried to make the nest made out of the wire, and then so he walking around the city, and yeah, so and the people are a bit scared to look into him, and yeah, so yeah, then in 90s, we have like two key player for the performer art scene, like. As I mentioned, like 62 to 88, and country was closed, and then so artists cannot go outside. And after Fall Town in 90, so artists can go to outside and make an exhibition. Like first time in the modern artist, the Aomien, he been to the Singapore and make an exhibition about. At that time, he met the Seiji Shimoda, Japanese artist, and then Lee Wan, Singapore artist, and then he saw. Some the live performance in there, and then after he came back, so he tried to be introduced the performance art form to his gallery member, the Inya, and then another the key player is called Jeko, the Japan artist. So he been to Myanmar, and he introduced the performer art to that Inya member. So, yeah, after year 2000, the second generation or second wave emerged. So I'm one of them, and so we claim ourselves we are the post-88 generation or 80-born generation. So like the Nyalinta, so he play with the ice and fire, like he try to make contrast thing. So I myself and the mirror lantern. So. Yeah, one of the Nyalinta performer, he holding the knife and he tried to running, and then but he didn't move. Yeah, so he didn't go forward. So he's shouting like, "I'm running to the east, I'm running to the west, and also I'm running to the Amazon forest." Or also he's saying like, "I'm running among the general," or "I'm running among the soldier," or yeah, so. And then later he shouted like, let them grow and let them grow. Yeah. So like is it like as I interact about his piece, like it's Myanmar. We like after year 2000, so we realized that are we going forward or are we going backward? So, but we didn't see our country development. So that's why we are running, but we didn't reach to the forward. So now I'm going to talk about the festival in Myanmar. So this Posa is the first ever performing art festival in Myanmar, organized by the JICO. So they call Performance Site Myanmar, and so artists from Thailand, Malaysia, and Japan, yeah, so they participate. So, and the second festival did in 2006. So it's called Performing Art Festival, and two of my senior artists organized, Echo and Aumim. So this event is only for the local artists, and so they are trying to be married with the performer and poet. So like, after one performance and one poet recite the poem, yeah, so performer and poem, yeah. So yeah, we are really closing with the poet, yeah. So also the poet, they are doing the performance, poetry, recite, and some action. So yeah, after these two festivals, so in 2007, we don't really have a festival, and so that's why me and my colleague, the poet, we say, okay, better let's start to organize the International Performing Art Festival. Like before the festival, I create this Beyond Pressure. So there is two festivals. One is organized by foreigner, one is organized by senior. So there's okay, let's do with the we young generation have to do something new with our previous thing. And so the name of the festival is Beyond Pressure. So at that time, our country was still under pressure. So, but we saw the light. So the country will be changed soon. Yeah. So that's why we give our festival name Beyond Pressure. And so for the first edition, so Beyond Pressure aimed to make a performance art in the public space to wider audience. And in previous two festivals, before the Beyond Pressure, they are made in the public space, and one is in the Alliance Française, so like under the French compound. And so, but for us, we have to do in the public space, and so that's why we need to apply the permit from the Board of Censorship. And when I start to do most of my colleagues in the region, like so-called godfather of the performer artists in Singapore and Thailand, they not agree with me. They say most of the performer art cannot be censored. I say, yeah, I know that, but I know my country's situation. We cannot make any public event without the permit from the Board of Censorship. So that's why I try to be dealing with them. And so when I applied the permit, so the officer of the Board of Censorship, he didn't know what is performance art, so I tried to be educated to him. And so later he said, Mother, you should show me the rehearsal before the actual festival. And I said, no, performance art cannot do the rehearsal, so we have a different. And so I'm quarreling with him, and so later so we found out, okay, we give you the brief description, like, for example, like how we will do, what we will do, why we do. For example, like, okay, I will start Anna to the room with the dancer, and I will hold in the candle, and then I will lift at the candle, and then blow the candle, or something like that. Yeah. So and then we got the permit for the Board of Censorship. Yeah, so in the festival, so we have a workshop and some symposium. Yeah, so in the workshops, and so talking about the the performer art, like what is performer art, and yeah, so also, yeah, so before I organized the Beyond Pressure, so I said, okay, we better to try to develop that performer art form in our country. So that's why I found one article from the Singapore, during the band, the performance in Singapore 10 years. So the association make a conference about, and so they talk about like, they make 8 questions and they ask the key player in the Singapore, like I still remember the question like, can you do performance without the body, or like, so why you use body in your performance, or what is the performer artist role in society? So later I translate to that 8 question, and I interviewed to my colleague in Myanmar. So at that time around we have a 20 performer artists. So and I got like 60 answers. So 4 are the refused to be answered, and so later I published in the magazine, and so like this is the way try to develop the performance art in Myanmar. Yeah, so this is the Popo, the one of pioneer. So he tried to be like against the gravity. So his intention is, he respond about the opening of the Olympic 2008, because the Olympic, the game festival have to be like use your human ability. But in the opening, the filmmaker, the Zhao Yimong, he used a lot of like stand, and so people are flying on the this is over that, and so that's why he trying to respond that, can you walk on the wall, or can you sleep on the wall, or so he trying to be walk on the wall, so but he didn't succeed. Yeah, so this is the poster of the second Beyond Pressure. So, and yeah, here you can see the artists are explain to the board of the censorship. In the board of censorship, they have 11 members, one from Ministry of Culture, one from Secret Police, one from Ministry of Information, and so on. So we have to be explain what we will do, and So for that second Beyond Pressure, so and then they make a new comedy for the watch our performance. So they came like the performance happened in evening, and they came in the morning, and so we explained to them, and what later they said they come and see the actual performance event in the evening, and so for that they make a new comedy. So because they don't know how to be censored the performer art, so that's why the one from the Ministry of the Association of the Music, one from Association of Motion Picture, one from the Association of Theater, and so one from Literature. So they make a 5 member to watch our performer art. So what is different before the event and actual event? So so this is the one. This is the one example of the mural lantern. So he using the written word like ha ha ha, so laughing, and he gave to the audience to the megaphone, and so audience laughing, and then later he react to the laughing. So as I understand, like at that time, the country is under pressure, and so people are really surviving in their life, and so he tried to reduce that thing of So this is in that Beyond Pressure. This is one artist called the Miejo. And then you can see how from 1990 to 2010, so like 20 years, and then in Myanmar we don't really have a naked performance art due to the censorship, and so in the 2010, so country was a first election in 21 year, and then so that's why artists can brave to do that kind of piece. And also for that event, so I didn't get a permit from the board of censorship because like after election and before emerge the parliament 90 days, we don't have government in country, and that's why nobody want to be take responsibility for that. And so that's why we moved to the another city like 1.5 hour drive from the Yangon, the capital where I live, and so we crossed the river and we make in the one of my friend bonsai garden, and we make a performance in there. And so yeah, this is the second the example in that Beyond Pressure. You know the one female artist called Emily Pyo. She tried to be raise the question about the Muslim. Yeah, so you know the Muslims are not allowed to drink for the Muslim woman, so that's why she make the new cotton but change to the black color to the white color, and so she asked to the audience to can you open the white border, and then so after that they drink together, and so later she poured the wine to her body.
Moe, I'm sorry we don't have more time for the prime story.
So, okay, this is in the food Beyond Pressure, and so one example of my piece. In the food Beyond Pressure, we make our team is like a transition because 1 year after the country opened at, and so I gave to the audience to the blonde, and then later I give the pink the pen to the audience so they can write about their disappointment. And yeah, so you know because we don't really have a freedom of expression in Myanmar 5 decades, yeah. So and half century, yeah. So now the country is open as we can be freely talking, and yeah. So and then so. Later, so I'm stick on the blonde, and then light to the tissue paper, and then let the blonde go to the end, and in the blonde is exposed in the area. So I intention is that you know now our angry we can be talking like freely. So my idea is what is the name?
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's move towards the performance.
We are under pressure.
Okay. Yeah. Finish. Yeah. So, okay. Could you guys stand up and move the chair to the corner?